Welcome back. Well, we just traveled through time, apparently. One of the powers the grower is supposed to have, and Kadish made this age to prove that he could travel through time, so that he could show the people that he fulfilled the prophecy. But why does it only work when all the lights on this radar thingy are off? Which on the watery version of Ahnonay we did by changing the quabs of the island, and here we can turn them off by disintegrating these crystals. It's very strange. Maybe the tower generates the 1.81 gigawatts of power required when all the lights are off. And if you don't know what that was a reference to, then honestly, get out from that rock you're living under. It seems that the tower is still there. But there's not going to be any swimming to get there. If you look really carefully though, it seems that there's a path going under the mist here. So we can actually just walk to the tower. Well, isn't that convenient? Maybe in this version of Ahnonay we can get into it and get inside. Well, there is a shell cloth here, so let's touch that. Might be useful. Never know. Doesn't appear that this tower even has an entrance. Oh, that's not very helpful then. So let's just walk back to the main island. And continue to disintegrate these crystals. Because, well, if we could travel through time once, we can do it again, right? Just turn off all the lights on the radar, or whatever it is. And it should happen again. According to the notebook we've seen, there should be a past, present, and future version of Ahnonay. Why the hell can't I jump on here? This isn't cooperating. I need to get on there though. Is there another way on there? I need to get that crystal. Oh wait, this appears to be lower than the other side. Oh. Okay, finally. But there should be a past, present and future version of Ahnonay. We've seen what I would assume is the past, and this would be the future. So now it ought to take us to... this is the present, so now it should take us to the future, right? Actually, the state of this does seem to support the idea that it's actually Garternay. Because Garternay is supposed to have died, so it doesn't really look hospitable. Well, assuming I didn't miss any crystals, we should once again travel through time into the future. And we have. And in the future, Ahnonay is floating in space. That makes no sense whatsoever. How are we breathing? How are we standing on this thing? How is there gravity? How is the tower, which is broken, by the way, floating there? How are these rocks maintaining such great position comparative to each other? What's this ring? This makes no sense. This cannot be in space. How could we breathe? Complete and utter nonsense. Maybe the dunny would be gullible enough to believe in all of this, but I'm beginning to suspect there's something more going on here. Well, it looks like that's the island where the tower was, but the tower is long gone in this future. Could we get there? Doesn't look like it. Certainly cannot swim. And there's no path going there. But wait a second. We touched a shell cloth on the island in the Misty version. So what if the shell cloths, which we know save position like the journey cloths, work across the different versions of Ahnonay? It is certainly a theory that warrants investigating. So to try that, of course, we must head back to Relto. We see that we have two new books. One that goes to Ahnonay Cathedral, and the other that goes to Ahnonay itself. So let's use the shell marker, link back to the shell cloth location, and you see that we are in fact still in Space Ahnonay, even though we touched the cloth in Misty Ahnonay. So apparently these cloths work across versions. Touch a cloth in one version and you can use it in another version. Intriguing. Casts some more questions though about how this whole time travel thing is supposed to work. I mean, somehow it changes where the linking book in the cathedral goes to which time period, but it also changes the existing shell cloths we touched. We're very weird. There's a shell cloth here, which is not entirely in the same position as the one we touched in Misty Ahnonay, because we linked to here, so that's where the shell cloth on the side of the tower was, which makes it seem that this one could perhaps be on the inside of the tower. And considering that we couldn't get in the tower, perhaps we can use this shell cloth to get in the tower. Of course, we need to go back to a version of Ahnonay where the tower is actually there. Well, the radar thingy is broken, and there doesn't appear to be anything alive or whatever. There's no quabs and no crystals. Just me. So let's hope that that will be enough, that we don't need to do anything special here to trigger another time shift. If these time shifts even work in reverse, I mean, what's going to happen here now? Are we going to go even further into the future? Or are we going backwards to the present, the Misty version? Or what? What's going to happen? I don't know. Well, we will find out presently. So, which version of Ahnonay do we link to? And we are back in the watery version of Ahnonay. So now we can go back to Relto and use our shellcloth marker, and hopefully that will take us into the tower on the island. But I will do that in the next video.